what sets people apart in filmmaking is the reason behind why you film make. I gotta give glory to God, man, for that one, because he gave me all the strength. Yes, yes, yes.
Sounds like good information to me. On today's show, we discover more. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Let's Chew the Gum. I'm your host, ProTKAll. We talk a lot about a lot of things in this show while we chew the gum, and just like every show, we always have
something for your mind, something for your mind, something for your mind.
정신을 집어넣으세요. 어떤 건 필요합니까?
Something for your
정신을 집어넣으세요.
mind.
정신을 집어넣으세요.
Something for your
Welcome to this latest edition of Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything from A to Z while we chew the gum. But today I have a special guest. I always have a special guest, but I'm really excited to have this particular gentleman in the studio with me today, or at least on the show with me, as we are in remote locations. My guest today, man, I'm just looking at where you are and where you've been. My guest, you guys, is Mr. T.Z. Hall. T.Z. was born in Louisville, Kentucky on May 5th. Hey, that's Cinco de Mayo. There's a lot of observances on that day, but May 5th, I'm not going to tell you the year because it might give some clues as to, I'm just going to avoid telling the year. But T.Z. is a writer, a producer, a director. He has a movie production company, Boggle Global and Associates, LLC, which was established in 2018, was it? 2018. He's been on BET's 106 and Park Wild Out Wednesday, on BET's Blaze the Stage. He's released 6 music videos. He's, as I already said before, a producer and a director. He's done, if I go down the list, guys, I might run out of time, but he's been out there doing his thing for quite a while. And I've had the pleasure of recently working with him on a set and checking out a few of his productions. So let me just stop and give him a chance to say something to you guys. Welcome to the show, TZ. What's happening?
Hey, doctor. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. God bless. What's going on?
Oh man, it's been a really good day. It's been a good week. I've been anticipating, having this conversation with you, to have you on the show. And it's timely because over the past few episodes, I've talked a lot about the entertainment industry in terms of things I have going on with On Watch TV. We recently had another celebrity guest on. And then I have some listeners who send emails, and some of the questions they had were about the entertainment industry and that type of thing. So I thought, you know what a perfect time to have you on.
It's an honor. It's an honor, sir, and I really appreciate you having me on. I'm very grateful, and your wisdom and your knowledge, and you already know that you're headed to the right path. So, On Watch TV, I definitely support them. You guys go follow them on Instagram, check them out, and let's keep going.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's phenomenal. It's a great opportunity to be able to have that outlet to be able to put, shows on for individuals who are up and coming filmmakers, established filmmakers, and then other creatives as well, man. So as folks know, those that have seen the channel, you go on there, you'll find documentaries and movies and drama and comedy and lifestyle videos, music videos, concerts. So there's a variety and something there for everyone, man. I'm so happy to have that. I was really excited because over the last couple of days, you already know, you shared some of your productions with me, and I thoroughly enjoyed those, man. You shared the film, the Clinic, or is it just this Clinic, which was a comedy, and then the other movie, which is a little bit more on the dramatic side Let's Eat. And I wanted to talk to you about those particular productions. So let's start with the more dramatic one, which was Let's Eat. I'm not going to give any spoilers. You can give as many spoilers or not as you want, but I wanted to know what was the inspiration behind Let's Eat, and maybe you're going to have to give them a little bit of context as to what it's about. But what was the inspiration behind that?
Oh, great. I'm so glad you asked, Doc. Let's Eat. It was written in Louisville, Kentucky, where I'm from, of course, the hometown of the greatest Muhammad Ali. And basically, I had done a couple movies beforehand, so I wanted to give something back to basically the hood and give a lesson to the people that I was surrounded with all the time. Because the movies that I was doing was kind of thinking outside the box a little bit. So I wanted to touch all genres. So I want to have something for comedy, something for horror, science fiction, now just drama. So I went ahead and touched the hood a little bit. And what I did was I kind of looked at some classics like the Minister Societies and the Boys in the Hoods and the John Singletons and the Hype Williams. And I did my research on them, how they got their point across with the all black, just storytelling of a guy that's coming up in the hood, of what it's like when you are trapped inside of the system, and it's only two ways that it goes. So at the end of the day, penitentiaries and basically dying is the next two ways that you would go when you choose the street life, which is the way that I written it. And it was kind of cool because everybody came out and supported, like the whole hood in Louisville, Kentucky. They like gravitated towards it like it was like a belly or something. So shouts out to everybody that came out to the premiere event and watched Let's Eat. Shouts out to everybody that watched it on Amazon Prime Video. Shouts out to everybody that watched it worldwide. And I appreciate it, man. So let's go. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciated it, and all those points that you just mentioned, they all came out. There was the glamour of it, the glory of it, but then there was also the reality of, if you choose this pathway, here's what can happen, because it was all there. You had the sort of the Robin Hood type of effect of, giving back to the community, but also living in that life has consequences, man. So, I was really pleased with that. I've seen every hood movie that's been out. I've lived a few, lived a few of those in reality. But this one, I liked it for the fact that the tangibility of it, the realism of it, and just, your overall approach. And I see, I was reading through and saw that, you had a red carpet event for this event in Louisville in 2019. And for this particular movie, you executive produced it, directed, wrote it, edited, acted in it. I mean, you did it all, right? So that's like, I don't want to even say a person, another person's level, but you did it all, man. You really have the talent and the insight to pull it off, and it showed.
Thank you, man. I gotta give glory to God, man, for that one, because He gave me all the strength and everything that I needed. All the earthly angels is what I call them. All my cast and crew members to donate their time, because you can't give time back. When somebody gives you their time, you gotta make the best out of it and make it useful and something that they'll be appreciative and proud of. So I appreciate everybody that came out, all the earthly angels, and all my glory goes to the man upstairs and the higher power.
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely a variety of cast members, performing in different roles, diversity in terms of the cast, and they showed up and showed out. I really enjoyed it, man. So the other movie I had a chance to see was Clinic, right? And that one was, again, on the comedy side, but there was it was about some serious, real life issues that people might encounter. So this one, 2018, again, you executive produced, you were the screenwriter, you acted in it, senior editor, right? Again, once again, you did all of that. And man, tell me about that. What was the inspiration behind that film?
that one, Doctor, of course, is kind of funny because, I have a sense of humor side. So one day I was sitting at a wedding, right? One of my friends was getting married. So I figured what would happen or what funny could happen at this wedding. So I don't know why, but out of the left field of my brain came the idea of, well, what if both wedding parties contracted a STD without having sex before the wedding? So I had to come up with this whole plot of how this could happen, and everybody could rush to this clinic, and the groomsmen would be hiding from the bridesmaids, and the bridesmaids know, it's just a lot of chaos goes on. So it was pretty funny when I was thinking about it. And I went ahead and wrote it, brought it to life, and shouts out again. God just looks out for me, and He just brought me all kind of earthly angels and people that just came out of the left field that I had never met before, and they just came to help. And I mean, we had the wardrobes and the makeup, and I mean, everybody knows the diversity in that movie was a lot as well too. It was just I would really appreciate everybody that came out and had some fun with it. We all had a great time on the set. That was really fun.
Yeah, it seemed fun. Even the outtakes or the bloopers at the end, all of that. It kept my attention, and I'm very critical of movies. Sometimes if I'm always giving films a try, but if it doesn't really catch me after about 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, let me move on to the next one. And in this environment, we have that opportunity, to move on because there's so much out there. There's so much content out there. A lot of people are, creatives. Everybody these days has a camera. With the latest phones, you can pretty much make your own movies and whatnot. But it's the like you said for the first film, you did your research. A lot of people will go out with the camera and just film. But what, in your opinion, sets individuals aside, those who are filmmakers or visionaries versus just people with cameras? What sets them apart?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that one too, Doc. I think what sets people apart in filmmaking is the reason behind why you film make. Some people do it for a paycheck, and some people do it for passion. And I can tell from the work that I watch and I see who appreciates the art a little bit more than just who wants to get paid, and I just look at it as a bigger picture. The money will come. I just want to work. Let's just grind right now, and later on we'll take care of all that. But right now, I want to produce content. So I'm just hungry right now, and it's the passion that's in me that's boiling. So I believe that separates a good filmmaker from just an average filmmaker. If you're doing it for the paycheck or you're doing it for the passion, do you like the art of it or not?
That's interesting. I had a conversation with my son some years back, and he's a musician, and he was talking about making music, and he held tightly onto the phrase of amateur. He was saying, Dad, I still consider myself an amateur, but he didn't mean it in the way of like inexperienced or novice. He broke it down to the origins of the word, and he was saying that, the origins of the word amateur is the love of, you're because you love it. And he said, although, I definitely want to get paid for my craft, it goes beyond that. I do it, and what drives me to do it is because I love doing it. So I really appreciated, him distinguishing the phrase amateur from how we normally use it in sports or other endeavors, and meaning, someone who's a novice and doesn't know much, versus him saying, for the love of it. And that's sort of what you kind of brought about in your description as you distinguish the difference between the two. So I definitely can see that, the love of it. And I'm looking forward to so much more. I'm looking down the list, and I just see quite of other things that you've done. You directed Overlooked, a hip hop of Louisville documentary, and a red carpet event. And that was in 2013. So you've been at this for a minute. I'm looking 2012, producer and director of Dirt Bowl documentary, which was aired on Louisville Metro TV. So I can only imagine that, there's some folks in Louisville, your hometown, that are really supporting you. But just like in anything, there are those that support and those that may not see the vision enough to be able to support. Maybe they're in disbelief. How do you navigate, a field like this where a lot of it is based upon the acceptance of audiences, right? How do you navigate that if something you produce is not accepted with acclaim, right? How do you keep going?
It's like when you kind of make something or you feel like it's not at that level the where it should have been, that's good. It's kind of like falling 7 times and getting up 8 times. So it's kind of like you just learn. So you never lose or anything. It's just what do you learn or take from that to grow and just better yourself for the next project or the next film or the next music or whatever you want to keep doing. So whatever you have a passion for anyway. So I just learned to, you get down, you get back up, so that's it. Just keep going.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. It's a similar approach that I've taken in my life. I think, when you're on a journey and you have a passion, in that way, it's not dependent upon, what others, think. And we care what others think. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, everything is not for everybody. So perhaps, maybe that show or that particular piece wasn't for you. You know what I mean? But it fits somewhere on the shelf. It still belongs on the shelf. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes. Awesome.
I was listening earlier today to a clip from an interview with Denzel Washington, and he was talking about folks being addicted to social media, and he was challenging folks. He said, if you don't think you're addicted, try being off of it for a week. And folks got pretty quiet after that. And I thought, great point. But he went on to talk about how, it some people consider it an evil in society, the devil's play box or the devil's work or whatever. And his approach was, it's a resource because we have free will and it's about how you use it. Right. And he talked about how, a lot of people use it because they want to be liked. And he went on to say, we all want to be liked, right? We all have, strive to be liked by someone. But back in the day, he's saying it used to be just the person across from you, right? The person you saw. But now folks are trying to be liked by 16 million people that they never met. And if they don't, get those
Hmm.
accolades, somehow they feel as if they're a failure. And you kind of spoke to that before as far as getting, falling down and getting back up and you just keep going. But how important, on a real level, how important is that to a filmmaker and particularly you? How important is, being liked or having something accepted in terms of how you're motivated to continue?
Mm. Well, on that situation, how I motivate myself to continue is I think about the biblical days, and I go back to the way Moses, went by himself and he was talking to God, and how everybody was against Moses, and he was leading people to the promised land. And even when he split the sea, and when people got there, nobody really believed and that they were going to get across here, and they got Pharaoh following him. They about to kill him and everything. This is a whole lot of people who believed in him, but they felt let down. But at that moment when you pray and you have that faith, anything can happen. Just like what Kevin Garnett said when he won the championship for the Boston Celtics back in the day, anything is possible. And when you have faith and you have that hard work, you have that drive, it's kind of like what we created the actual company of Vago Global and Associates. Vago doesn't just it's just not a word. It means something. Like B in Vago it means believe. A it means ambitious. G it means goals. It leads to opportunities, which is the O. So if you believe and you ambitious, you set goals, it will lead to opportunities. So if you just take, that and that's how I got by goals. So if you have that mindset or that mind frame and everything that you do and approach, and you just believe in it, you stay hungry, you set a goal to where you want to go with it, then opportunities is going to happen because I do believe that God watches over us and he's going to take care of his own. He all made us. Like we all are different too. So y'all don't we nobody has the same fingerprints. Everybody has different fingerprints. So at the same time, we all different, but we're all the same too, and we all can believe in whatever we want to do. Everybody has a passion in something. Everybody love or fell in love with. I don't care if it's just if you playing video games. I've seen people get millions of dollars from playing video games or off YouTubers or anything that you love to do. You can do it and make it happen and grow and make money off of it. You just got to keep believing and keep going. If you want to be the president of the United States, look at Barack Obama. Look at you, Dr. K. I know you done got a backstory, so you could be a doctor. You're showing everybody that with a podcast and all. So salute to you. Whatever you believe in, stay ambitious, set you a goal, and opportunities will come.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and you are speaking truth, man. I thought I was an admirer before, and now I really am. Not because you paid me homage, but just the, going back to Boggle, belief, ambition, goals leading to opportunity, and that's it. I mean, because like you said, if you have the belief and you are ambitious, that's motivation. You've set the goal. And so what's out there, but your belief and ambition is going to guide you. That's going to wake you up each and every day. You're going to wake up with a purpose. You're not going to wake up stumbling around trying to figure things out, whether you have a lot of money or a little money. That goal is something you want to achieve. And so it's being driven. And as you said, opportunities are going to come. And I tell people that all the time. A goal can be, short term, or it can be far off, Speaking of doctorate, working on my doctorate degree or whatnot, when I was in community college, I would tell people, what are you going to school for? They'd ask. I say, I'm working on my master's degree. I was not in the master's program, wasn't close to that point. But that was the reason that I was going to community college. The goal was out there, and I believed in that, and I was ambitious, and I did have that goal, and it did lead to opportunities, right? So, that being said, man, you've spoken a lot of truth. And I appreciate that because for the listeners, and let me just give a shout out to the listeners like I always do, man. We have listeners in over 45 countries right now, man. And, they have been loyal, and I appreciate them when they write, to me about the show or questions. But just the fact that you drop that information, I know that that's appreciated and well received. And so for all my adult listeners, that are 35 to 65, and the listeners, I have a large group of listeners that are 17 to 34 also. So wherever you are, that to me says everything. Wherever you are, I hope you have received what my guest, Mr. TZ Hall, just laid out. Belief, ambition, and goals leading to opportunity. That was well said. I think, on that note, I want to take a break, just a brief break for sponsors. And when I come back, man, I want to, there are a few people that wrote in prior to, you even scheduling the show, and some of their questions or comments, are right in line with what we're talking about. So I want to address those on the air and talk a little bit about what you're currently doing, and hope you can stick around.
Let's do it, man. You got me, Doc.
All right. We'll be right back. Loyal listeners and new listeners, thank you so much. I'm asking briefly for your assistance with a project that I'm undertaking with my nonprofit SCORE. There are 100 plus students in Sri Lanka that I'm gifting books and learning materials to, and I could use your help. You can feel free to send a tax-deductible donation to the nonprofit SCORE. You can do this through Cash App. You would Cash App SCORE 501c3 for your tax-deductible donation, or email me at score 501c3 at gmail.com for other information. Also, check it out on my social media pages. We look forward to your support, and the kids of Papua New Guinea will surely be grateful. Thank you. I wanna hold your hand, take you to a picture show. All right. Thank you for listening to our sponsors. Once again, this is Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything from A to Z while we chew the gum. And remember, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you have ideas for the show, topic ideas, or just want to ask questions, always you can feel free to email me at letschewthegum@gmail.com. That's LETSCHEWTHEGUM at gmail.com. Let's chew the gum at gmail.com. I'm always open and always ready to listen. We're going to, as a matter of fact, we're going to take some questions on the air, not live, but we'll address some questions on the air right now, as a matter of fact. So believe it or not, man, I'm going to take one from your hometown, Louisville, Kentucky. And this is from James from Louisville. No last name. Do you know James?
James, which James? I know a couple of James. Shout out to James from Louisville, Kentucky.
Right. There's a lot of Jameses. But this is from James in Louisville, Kentucky. He says he enjoyed the show I did with DC Glenn. For those of you that don't know, DC Glenn is a part of the rap duo Tag Team. And they had newer generations will know him from the Geico commercial. They are, making the ice cream, and he's got the sprinkles. So he was on. So anyway, James says he enjoyed the show with DC Glenn, the interview. He says, do I plan to have any other celebrities coming on? Well, guess what? We got TZ Hall today, so that was timely. So I hope that answers your question. As far as other celebrities coming on, absolutely stick around for the upcoming year. As you guys know, this is season 4 of the podcast, and right now we're recording episode 2. So stay tuned. There will be more celebrity guests on the show. I'm glad you enjoyed the show with DC Glenn. I'm gonna be sure that I send him a message and let him know that you, among others, enjoyed that interview. Louisville, man, as you said at the outset, and I knew this is the home of, the GOAT, Muhammad Ali. I'm from Detroit originally. So for me, it's the home of Motown. And I was always inspired as a kid, because I would hear this music on the radio. But I could walk past Motown any day of the week. As a matter of fact, I used to ditch school just to go and stare and sit in front of the Hitsville building, which is really a converted home on West Grand Boulevard in Detroit. I would sit there and imagine that, one of my, heroes or stars would come out, whether it's Stevie Wonder or the Supremes or Smokey or the Temptations or, any number of artists. But it gave me inspiration. What was it like, or what is it like growing up in Louisville with someone like Muhammad Ali, an icon like that? What type of, was that something that was inspiring to you?
Oh yes, dude. Like you hear so many stories of Ali in Louisville, Kentucky. It is crazy. My dad, he used to box as well, so he was in the Golden Gloves, and they spent time together boxing as amateurs too coming up. But of course, Ali went on to the Olympics and things of that nature and done great things, and became the biggest icon in the world. Like everybody in the whole world knows this man. Like it's crazy. More people know him than Joe Biden, than our president right now. It's like, he's more, he's a big guy. So, but you see both sides. So coming up with Ali as well, he told it like it was. So the things that he was going through with racial situations and racism, it still goes on today in Louisville, Kentucky, as we just witnessed with the whole Breonna Taylor situation. And it was just publicized. But things like that had happened so much in my city. Like, as a matter of fact, I lost one of my best friends coming up. He was 17. I was 17 at the time. We both the same age. I mean, his name was Michael Newby, and he was the first Trayvon Martin. The cop killed him and this guy named Mattingly. It's crazy how in my city, they're all kin to each other. Like, it's the Mattingly's, the guy that I'm speaking of with the Breonna Taylor situation is actually a nephew of the Mattingly who killed my best friend back in the day, Michael Newby, who later on ended up got promoted to like a chief in another county of Kentucky. But that's just like two different stories, and I have to tell Michael Newby's story later on in my filmmaking days. So we'll see the first Trayvon Martin before Trayvon. Salute to Trayvon Martin and his family as well, and my condolences and all. But yeah, my friend Michael Newby, it was crazy tragedy what happened to him. But you get to see what Ali was talking about then. It transitioned to today. Even when he came home from winning the gold medal in the Olympics, he couldn't eat in a restaurant without him experiencing racism. So he even threw his gold medal inside of what is now the Ohio River back in the day, and it's still the Ohio River now. But no one has ever found this gold medal either. But they have documentation that he literally threw this Olympic gold medal into the river because of that. It doesn't mean anything to him if he couldn't get a hamburger at any restaurant he wanted to in his hometown. So it was hard back in Louisville, Kentucky. And then on the other side of it as well, we experienced it's a show called The First 48. I don't know if you guys are aware of that show, but it shows not the countryside, but the more city side of Louisville, which, I kind of compared Georgia and Louisville together. And it's like Georgia and Kentucky together, and the cities of Atlanta and Louisville are similar. Outside of Atlanta is a lot of country. Outside of Louisville is a lot of country in Kentucky as well. So you just see a lot. And that's why I have 19 films that I've written. So I have so many stories that I want to tell. So when God, blesses it in my heart and he puts my time and to do this type of thing, I already have things in the archives that's ready to rock and roll, written to say the end on them. Let's go. Let's film them, budget or not. Let's go.
Yeah, that's impressive, man. And so Ali definitely was an inspiration for just the complete picture, the bad parts, but also to instill the courage to tell those stories. I heard Ali, in many interviews talk about that incident you spoke of about, throwing his medal into the river because, racism is a terrible evil. We want to talk about a pandemic that's enduring. This is one that is enduring, and, people say it's gotten better, and things have gotten better. We can't deny that, but we have a long, long way to go. I was just watching a news show before we came on air about another police department where police officers were circulating racist texts, racist jokes, threats about various ethnic groups that they didn't care for, and these are individuals that we trust in our communities to do the right thing, much like, all professions, whether you're, a police officer or a teacher or, doctor, lawyer, attorney, you work at the DMV, no matter where it is, man. And so, in any profession and in any area, I hope that we continue to, stand up against those things. And I applaud everyone that is on front line standing up to eradicate those. I applaud everyone who formerly have engaged in racist acts, but have discovered and found out, that that's not the way to go. And they've transformed their lives and are helping others because it's not necessary. When we talk about living in America, like Ali said, the land of opportunity, right? There's no need to be racist. Just compete, if it's a competition thing, because, to me, the need for racism, why would someone be racist? I don't know. Are you afraid that you can't compete on an equal level, right? Do you not have the skill sets and are able to articulate or be motivated to, with those ambitions and goals to, achieve your opportunities? I don't know. It's no reason for it. And most people that I talk to, because I talk to a lot of racists, I engage individuals, and most people, are still dealing with, situations where it was taught to them, because it is taught. So we can teach a different story. We can teach a different way, and hopefully we can, overcome those. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like filmmaking as an art form, or film as an art form, is very important, because you can tell a story, and individuals, based upon their own prior experiences, can find themselves somewhere in that story. And if a story is told right, if it's told with context and clarity and has a point, you can really change the world. There's so many films that have had that impact. So I hope that you do. And 19 films, that's impressive. That's impressive. I hope that you continue to utilize, this medium to tell stories, to keep having people, to think and to ponder. And, as much as I may have excelled in other areas in life, filmmaking is something that I've always wanted to do. And, with On Watch TV, it started for me as an opportunity to showcase other creatives. I've always had my own ideas about, wanting to tell stories. But now, as you know, from a recent encounter, a recent set that we worked on together, my motivation is not only to provide a platform for others, but also to make films myself, So I actually went back to school myself to learn the craft behind it, because anything I do, I want to do it justice, right? I had a little pushback from others that saying, you have 6 college degrees. Why do you want to go back to school? I love learning, right? So how can I have a TV channel or TV outlet or whatever, entertainment outlet, broadcasting company, and not know? So, I invested in the schooling and the equipment. And then I find out, with all of your accolades, with all of your experience in films and all the things you've done, you're actually a film school student yourself. How does that takes some humility? How do you go from producing, directing, writing, all of these things, to say, I'm going to go to film school?
It goes back to that passion. It goes back to eat, sleep, drinking, just film. It goes back to, I have a hashtag that I love. If you guys want to follow me on social media, on Instagram, at @TZHall underscore, but I use a hashtag. Once again, it's at @TZHall underscore. It is hashtag all gas, no brakes. And once again, hashtag all gas, no brakes. Like, let's just go, go, go. I also like to use a hashtag called We Work Harder. So hashtag We Work Harder. So, I mean, if you see those, hey, salute. It's just my mentality is just a little bit different. So I always want to do something productive. I always want to help somebody. I always want to write something, give opportunities to people. I mean, because that's what, God put me here to do. And I feel like that's what, and sometimes in life, we have to humble ourselves to realize, the power that we have. And the tongue is the most powerful muscle in your body. So sometimes when you're speaking, you can speak things into existence. You speak things into the universe. So with me just saying, look, I have this goal, we're going to believe in it, be ambitious about it, we're going to achieve it. And then, of course, the opportunities are going to come. And they came. So it's just, I've embedded myself in that way. So it's just the mindset, I believe.
I believe that as well, and you are reinforcing my beliefs in that concept, man. I'm happy that you said that. So let me just get this, make sure. So on social media, it's @TZHall underscore all gas no brakes.
Yeah, actually, it's TZHall underscore. That's just my
Okay,
my
got it,
social.
got it,
But I was just saying my hashtag that I love to use is just all gas, no brakes.
got
That's
you.
just it just gets me motivated to go. Let's work.
And
Let's
then hashtag we work harder. I want to
yeah.
talk about
So
the first hashtag, because as I'm looking at it and I see, okay, here's a homonym, a word that has the same sound but a different meaning. I hope I got that right. But all gas, no brakes. Now, if I'm thinking gas, I'm thinking car. I'm thinking car brakes are BRAKES. All gas, no brakes. But also, I'm thinking motivation and grind is no breaks, like we're not stopping for a break. BREAK. So in your hashtag, are we using breaks like a car with the RAK, or is it RE? Is it breaks like a breakfast break?
Actually, I love that, and that's with the whole concept of all gas no brakes, because we can use it in both ways. So I use it as all gas no brakes as in the car, because I don't want to scare people off and working with me. I don't want people like,
No
hold on,
breaks.
man, no breaks. Wait a minute, I need my 15 minutes, man. I need my 30 minutes. So no, I don't use it as breaks as far as that. So I use it as the car, but that's in my mindset. I am thinking that way, man. I don't need a break. Let's
For
just go.
sure.
I can eat on the go.
For
Like
sure.
like wait, I
For
can edit
sure.
and eat, edit and do this. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. No, that is definitely motivational. Let me. I'm gonna go back and pick up a few more questions or comments from some of the listeners. We're gonna go to France. And by the way, there's a nice short film by done by a young lady in France on the channel. So if you guys get a chance to go to On Watch TV on Roku or Fire TV to check out the channel, there's a category called First Films, and it's a category dedicated to individuals who've made their first film, and we're putting it on there. I'm putting it on there. And so she has a short film on there. She's from France, so I thought about her. Shout out to you. But this is from Julie in France, and she asked, I'm sorry. Oh, will I bring guests on from my On Watch TV shows? Will there be guests on here from individuals that have done shows for On Watch TV? Absolutely. First of all, TZ Hall, we've talked about this, about having your shows on the channel. And so I'm counting on that, because I want them there. I want the shows there. So can I say with some certainty that TZ's film, some of those will be on Watch TV?
Man, for sure, doctor, you got it.
Looking forward to that. But to further answer your question, Julie, absolutely. If on the website, as a matter of fact, onwatchtv.net, on the website, there is a section there dedicated to individuals that have content on the show, where I do a short interview with them, and kind of they describe their show and the content that they have on there. And I'd love to get you on there too, TZ. So individuals that have content on the channel, they're always welcome to come on and do an interview, and we place it right on the website so folks can get a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit more in depth knowledge about who these creators and these creatives are on the show. So looking forward to that. Thank you, Julie from France. I'm going to go over to Japan. And this is from Haruto Tanaka. And Haruto wants to know, says, am I open to having anime on the channel? Absolutely. I love anime. I'm definitely open to having some anime on the channel. That's going to be big. And let's see, what other part did he say? He says, am I open to anime on the channel and a creator as a guest, an anime creator? Absolutely. Looking forward to that. I'm not so big in the world of anime in terms of, I know all these shows. I have a nephew. I need to put his picture up on the wall. You go in his bedroom, it's completely covered in anime posters. The ceiling, the walls, it looks amazing, right? So here's some shows that I think are anime, and some people are going to give me some feedback on this, I'm sure. I think Speed Racer back in the day was anime. I think that was an anime show. I don't know if you remember Speedway. That's like a 70s show. This guy's a race car driver. But other anime that I think is anime, I could be wrong, but Avatar, that's one of my favorite shows. If it's not anime, it reminds me of it. Shout out to those creators and actors. I don't usually plug individuals, but Avatar, The Last Airbender, and then of course Korra, The Legend of Korra. Love those shows. Now I have to ask TZ, since I took that question, do you like anime, or is that something that you've explored before?
Of course, of course. I mean, I keep it open mind, dude. I wrote a kids show, like just to even I mean, just to teach them the ABCs, you know what I mean, with shapes and stuff. It's just crazy. Yes, I do anime, I do kids shows, voiceovers, whatever is needed. I'm down. Like I'm just that guy. I have a passion for it. I love it.
Uh,
Like I mean, even Foley. Like I even came up with this Foley. Foley is what it's called. You have to excuse my country accent, you guys. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so
that's all
our
good.
words is kind of little different. But it's called the Foley, basically, where we just like make noises inside of a sound room. So you may be watching the TV on, you may be watching a program on the TV, and you see somebody going up the steps. Well, that's somebody in the Foley room just acting like they're going up steps, and they're actually recording that. You may be stepping on some wood or whatever the case may be, but you're imitating what you're seeing on the actual screen. So yeah, I'm down with all of that. Yes, anime, sign me up. Let's go.
Let's go. I love it. Yeah, man. I enjoy checking out, videos of folks in the Foley room and looking at the different things they use to make all those sounds that we see on television. It's amazing. And they're creative. They'll have just about anything in there. I mean, all types of gadgets and things you would never think of to make the sounds of whether it's an animal or a car screeching or footsteps or doors, whatever it may be. Wind. It's amazing. I love that. I'm glad you brought that out. Man, that's well rounded. I'm loving to hear that. I'm going to take one more. Actually, I'm going to save this comment because I have a show upcoming that this next comment it's Jose G from Puerto Rico. So I do want to say your name, let you know, Jose, if you're listening. I'm going to take your comment on another show because it's going to be right in line with the guests that I have coming up. TZ, man, I appreciate you being on the show. Definitely inspiring, man, and I know for a fact that folks that are listening are going to be inspired by what you had to offer. So continue with the beliefs, the ambitions, the goals, the opportunities are definitely going to flow. I can't wait to work with you again. I thoroughly enjoyed having an opportunity to work alongside you and just, even still, I've been texting you a few days, picking your brain about, this light or that light, even today earlier. Right. So, I'm looking forward to it, man.
No problem, Doc. And whenever you need anything, man, I got you, man. Any questions you may have in this Hollywood, whatever it is, bro, I got you. And I look forward to working with you again too, man. You're great. And tell your wifey, man, I said hello and thank you for the beautiful and great looking food and tasting food. Oh my gosh, everything just matched. It was 5-star dining, like literally. So shouts out to wifey, man. Thank you, doctor. Thank you to your beautiful family. Oh yeah, your beautiful daughter. She killed the game on that art design. If you guys need an art designer, she's like the dopest I done seen. She can set up your set to make it look very good. So shouts out to her and shouts out to your talented son too. He's on them keys real tough. Doing his thing. So yeah, man, shouts out to him and keep going, keep grinding. And yeah, I enjoy working with you and your family, man. Salute to you and blessings to you.
I appreciate that so much. I didn't expect it. I'm sitting here cheesing like a proud papa, man. But yeah, they showed up and showed out, man. So definitely they got the art, the music, and the food was amazing, man. And I get to have it every day. And as quiet as it is kept, I was just having a conversation with another colleague the other night about a potential restaurant deal with my wife. So, we'll see how that kicks off. But yeah, you heard it from TZ. The food is amazing. Now, I've been trying to get her on the show, man. She's a little reluctant. We'll see. But thank you, man. Shout out to you. Much success to you. And I know it's coming, man. I'm looking forward again, as I said, to more. Shout out again and thank you to the audience from around the world in all 45 countries. You guys are what, keeps me motivated to do this show, to keep putting out, shows and bringing on fabulous guests like Mr. TZ Hall, the extraordinaire man. Again, Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything from A to Z while we chew the gum. Again, send those emails to letschewthegum@gmail.com. Check out On Watch TV on Roku and Amazon. Follow my guy TZ Hall on his social media pages at TZ Hall _. Did I get that correct?
Yeah, it's perfect, man.
All
Thank you
right.
so much
All
for
right.
that plug.
For sure. You guys remember, we always have
Something